You think you make your own decisions? You think the choices you make every day, what you eat, how you spend your time, whether you work or procrastinate, whether you reach for your phone or reach for a book, you think those come from you? From your willpower? From your intentions? From who you've decided to be? But what if most of those choices were never really yours to begin with? What if the room you're sitting in right now is making decisions for you without you ever knowing it? This isn't a conspiracy, it's not philosophy. It's one of the most well-documented findings in all of behavioral science. And once you understand it, you will never look at your surroundings the same way again. Let's start with a story. In the 1970s, a researcher named Roger Ulrich was working at a hospital in Pennsylvania. He noticed something strange. Patients recovering from surgery who had rooms with windows overlooking trees were leaving the hospital faster than patients in identical rooms. Same surgery, same age, same health profile, whose windows faced a brick wall. Not slightly faster, measurably, significantly faster. They also asked for less pain medication. They had fewer complications. They rated their experience better. Nobody told those patients to heal faster. Nobody changed their treatment. Nobody adjusted their diet or their medication. The only difference was what they could see when they opened their eyes. Their environment changed their biology. That study became one of the founding pieces of research in environmental psychology, the science of how the spaces we occupy shape our thoughts, our emotions, our behavior, and even our physical health in ways we are almost entirely unaware of. And what researchers have found since then is both fascinating and deeply uncomfortable. Think about the last time you walked into a messy room. Not a catastrophe, just cluttered. Dishes in the sink, clothes on the chair, papers stacked on the desk. Nothing dramatic, just disorder. How did you feel? If you're honest, probably a low level of tension. A slight mental fog, maybe a vague sense of being overwhelmed before you'd even done anything. Researchers at the Princeton Neuroscience Institute found exactly this. Visual clutter competes for your brain's attention. Every object in your field of vision that is out of place sends a small signal to your brain, a small unresolved task. And when you're surrounded by dozens of those signals at once, your brain is spending cognitive energy processing them constantly. Before you've written a single word or made a single decision, part of your mental capacity is already gone, used up by the environment around you. This is why some of the most productive people in the world are obsessive about their workspaces. It's not aesthetic preference. It's not perfectionism for its own sake. They've understood, consciously or not, that a clear environment creates a clear mind. But it goes far deeper than tidiness. In the 1990s, the city of New York was drowning in crime. Homicide rates were staggering. The subway system was covered in graffiti. Turnstiles were broken, and people jumped them openly. The city felt lawless, and in many ways it was. Then something remarkable happened. The new police commissioner, William Bratton, introduced what became known as the broken windows theory. The idea was simple. Visible disorder signals that no one is watching, no one cares, and anything goes. So instead of focusing only on major crimes, the city started fixing broken windows, cleaning graffiti within 24 hours of it appearing, repairing turnstiles, enforcing small violations. Within years, crime in New York dropped dramatically. Not because the people changed, because the environment sent a different message. The environment told people, this place is cared for. Someone is paying attention. Standards exist here. And behavior followed. Now bring this into your own life. Because this isn't just about cities or hospitals. This is about your kitchen, your bedroom, your phone's home screen, the desk where you sit for 8 hours a day. James Clear, who spent years studying the architecture of human habits, puts it plainly. You don't rise to the level of your goals. You fall to the level of your systems. And the most powerful system you have is your environment. Consider this. If there's a bowl of fruit on your kitchen counter, you will eat more fruit. Not because you suddenly have more willpower. Not because you made a decision. Because it's there. Because the environment made the healthy choice, the easy choice. Now, put chips in a transparent jar on the same counter and watch what happens to your snacking. Same person, same intentions. Completely different behavior. Because the environment changed. Or think about your phone. How many times a day do you pick it up without meaning to? Research from the University of Texas found that even having your smartphone on your desk face down, silent, reduces your available cognitive capacity. You're not even using it. Just its presence drains you, because part of your brain is always aware it's there, always partially directed toward it. The phone is controlling your focus without you touching it. And then there's the people. The people you surround yourself with are perhaps the most powerful environmental force of all, and the most underestimated. Harvard researcher Nicholas Stakis spent years mapping social networks and found something extraordinary. Behaviors spread through social groups like viruses. Obesity, happiness, loneliness, smoking, generosity, all of them were statistically contagious. If your close friend became obese, your chances of becoming obese increased by 45%. If a friend of a friend, someone you'd never even met, became happy, your likelihood of happiness increased. You are not just influenced by the people you know. You are influenced by the people they know. Think about that for a moment. The ambition in a room is contagious. The mediocrity in a room is contagious. The energy of the people you spend most of your time with doesn't just affect your mood, it shapes your beliefs about what's normal, what's possible, what's acceptable. If everyone around you works 9 to 5 and watches TV every night, that starts to feel like the natural order of things. If everyone around you is building something, learning something, pushing toward something, that starts to feel normal too. Your standard of normal is set by your environment, and your behavior follows your standard of normal almost automatically. This is where it gets empowering. Because if your environment shapes your behavior, and it does, it's far more than you've ever been told, then redesigning your environment. It's one of the most high-leverage things you can possibly do. You don't have to rely on willpower. You don't have to motivate yourself every single morning. You just have to engineer the space around you so that the right behaviors become the path of least resistance. Want to read more? Put the book on your pillow? Take the app off your phone's home screen. Make the thing you want to do the easiest thing to reach. Want to work out? Sleep in your gym clothes? Put your shoes by the door. Remove every single step that stands between waking up and walking out. Want to eat better? Reorganize your kitchen so the first thing you see when you open the fridge is what you want to eat, not what you're trying to avoid. Want to think more clearly? Clean your desk before you leave it at night, so the first thing you see in the morning isn't chaos. These are not hacks, they are not tricks. They are the application of one of the most powerful and consistent findings in all of human behavioral science. We are not as rational as we think. We are not as disciplined as we hope. We are, in enormous measure, creatures of context. Change the context. Change the behavior. There's something almost humbling about this when you really let it sink in. So much of what we call discipline, what we call character, is just the result of the environments we've built or fallen into. The person who wakes up at 5 a.m. every day and exercises and eats well and reads and produces, they're not a different species. They've built or been fortunate enough to find themselves in an environment that makes those behaviors feel natural, automatic, normal. The person who can't break the cycle, the one who knows what they should be doing but can't seem to do it, they're not broken. They're just surrounded by an environment that keeps pulling them back. And here's the truth. Nobody says out loud. You can want something with everything you have. You can write it down. You can visualize it. You can commit to it with complete sincerity. And if your environment is working against you, the people, spaces, the objects, the defaults, that intention will lose. Almost every time, but flip it. Build an environment that makes the right thing easier than the wrong thing. Surround yourself with people who are already living the life you want to live. Remove the friction from your best habits and add friction to your worst ones. And then watch what happens to the person you've been trying to become. They show up not because you forced them, not because you finally found enough willpower, because the environment made it inevitable. Your environment is speaking to you right now. The question is it telling you to grow? Or is it telling you to stay exactly where you are?